we beat a really, really good team tonight, and our team knew that coming in. You know, all you have to do is look at last year, them being in the tournament, playing Carolina tooth and nail, bringing back virtually their entire team. The confidence they gain when they go on the road in Texas and beat both SMU and TCU. So we knew what we were up against. One of the best passing teams, I think, in the country. Certainly haven't seen everybody. They have a unique ability to play inside out. We gave up a lot of over-the-top passes early, and that's just sort of our philosophy. We had to adjust that in the second half. I mean, just with not having a plethora of big guys, we feel like we have to keep the ball out of there. And had we settled behind and then come to trap them, you're talking about maybe one of the best low post passers in the country in Marbury. So in the second half, we still tried to keep it out of there, but we didn't give up angles and over the top passes as much, and made those guys finish over our size, and it didn't happen. And I'll tell you, they missed a few bunnies in and around the basket that but that's what we had to do. That's what we had to do to quit giving up those easy baskets. I thought just in general, our turnovers, we were either sloppy or we were soft with the ball, and that needs to be corrected. We have a tough time finishing around the basket. Our inability to make layups through contact is driving me nuts. But at least today we earned shots in and around the basket, where I thought against IU we just we played donut basketball and just shot the ball from the three-point line. So we made an effort to drive, to get in the lane, to play the way we want to play. Now we've got to be able to convert some of those things around the basket to be a more effective team. But I thought Dwayne Sutton's energy, I sound like a broken record. It happens every game. Darius played much better, and then Malik was a difference maker for us. It just was. His ability to rebound, block shots, and then he hit obviously a couple big threes. So we feel very fortunate with the win.
Chris, on Malik, just talking about obviously the three-pointers those two were huge, with the block shot, and then I think 2 possessions in a row where he grabbed the rebound. How much has he come along in that regard?
Yeah, I didn't coach him a year ago, but I did watch him on film, and he was a freshman. He was thin, and he got pushed around, and he's not going to be mistaken for shacking there, but he does have great size. He stays in the play. He has unique timing, to block a shot and be able to go after it. And it just seems like his hands are always around the rim. And we need him to play better offensively, and then his minutes would really increase, because he's by far our best interior defender. But he did a great job tonight.
Coach, if you could just kind of talk about the team made the run to close it down to a 1-point game at half. What was your message to the team to kind of get things going? It really seemed like you wanted to go to the basket, kind of dive to the rim.
Well, for us, it started on the defensive end. Lipscomb's averaging 86 points a game, and they've only scored under 80 one time. And so to hold them, below 70, I think somebody was joking, hey, first team to 80 wins, and that's not the way we want to be in our program. But it started, I thought, with our defensive effort. We made that adjustment, not the front, not give up those over-the-top lobs. I think our ball pressure rattled them a little bit. We got a couple steals out in the passing lane, and they just looked a little disjointed there for a bit. Now, I will say that Marbury getting his 3rd foul in transition, it was a foul, but it's one of those tough, unfortunate, bad luck fouls that when he goes to the bench, they're a different team. The kid, Nasadul, is a good player, but he's not the dual threat that Marbury is in terms of passing the ball. So I thought that was a big difference defensively when he went out. It was a little bit easier to defend, but then all of a sudden my man Matthew was like bang, bang, 2 threes in a row, and I thought they took the oxygen out of the Young Center there for a second.
Coach, late in the game when it's really tight, what are you kind of saying to the team in the huddle just to kind of hope that they do just really get back out there?
It just depends if it's their ball or our ball, and trying to make sure that we understand what we're running, what we can't give up on the other end. A big key to this game is vision off the ball, because unlike a lot of teams throw the ball into their bigs, and that guy just sort of goes to work and takes a shot, whether it's a good shot or a bad shot, or if he throws it back out it's because he's about to travel and he needs to get rid of the ball, where that's not the case here. So you get conditioned over time playing these other teams that don't play that way. And so it's hard to really understand how alert you have to be off the ball. We got beat a couple times. You know, Darius got back cut, you know, when the ball went in the post. And so those are all the things that we try to talk about during timeouts.
Was that defensive adjustment with in the post, do you think that played a role in you guys rebounding better on the defensive end also, or what do you think contributed to that improvement in the second half?
Well, I'd like to think that we got a little bit tougher minded. We got a little nastier. I thought in the first half, the over-the-top passes, the fronting had nothing to do with rebounding because we were generally taking the ball out of bounds after they made the layup. So I don't think the positioning defensively hurt us with rebounding so much as they were beating us to 50-50 balls in the first half.
Coach, they forced 17 turnovers tonight, probably maybe the highest you guys have had all year. What did they do that was so effective in forcing them?
Well, again, I thought we were either soft with the ball on a couple of occasions, or I thought we were sloppy with the ball. You always give credit to your opponent. They do a really good job in terms of scouting. They've got smarter, older players. So while they may not be gambling in the passing lanes constantly, they can tell when, oh, this set play is going to be a wing entry and try to sniff it out. You know, that their coach is trying to throw it to the elbow. They're going to try to slip around the guy and get a steal. So we have to be better. We've got to be able to set a guy up, whether it's a V-cut, button hook, be physical, get a big target, you know, be able to seal our man from touching the basketball. And hopefully tonight we learn from that. We've been a pretty good team all year taking care of the ball, but the last couple games, second half IU game and now this game, that's not a good trend. And again, I don't know if 3 halves are a trend, but we can't make it 4 or 5 or however many more halves we want to talk about.
Chris, you mentioned Dwayne's energy, but in these big games, I mean, he just seems to be there at the right time, make the big shot. What is it about his game and him that puts him in that position?
First, he's a good player. Secondly, he gets lost in the game and he only cares about winning. And I don't want to misrepresent the other guys in the locker room, but you know, Dwayne wasn't given anything coming out of high school. Scotty Davenport offered him a scholarship, and that was really the only place he had to go until the last second. He just wanted to play Division I. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, when nobody gives you anything, you got a little bit more, you know, I'm going to go get this. I'm going to earn it. And he's got a toughness about him. He's a really good player. He's self-made. Like I said, nobody was anointing him when he was here at Manual. But I also think that, again, if he was in that locker room with 0 points, 4 fouls, and we won, he'd be the same Dwayne Sutton. And that's a characteristic that's really hard to find, not only in players but in people.
Coach, coming off the Indiana loss, you know, you could say that it may be a letdown, or playing a team that's so prepared. How do you get the team refocused, and what was your message to them to kind of shake off the Indiana loss and come back home and take?
I don't know if it was refocused so much as just keeping our confidence, especially in late game situations. Our guys are a mature group in the sense that I think they really respect our opinions as coaches, and I also think we have some guys that know college basketball. I mean, they see the score. They see Lipscomb, you know, goes to TCU, who's top 20 in the country, and beats them. And so I told them the only 2 losses they've had are to their backyard rivals, and those guys know each other like the back of their hand. So I think there was a healthy respect coming in, and you know, that's key. If you don't respect your opponent, we'd had no chance to win. We'd look like clowns tonight, and that wasn't the case. So as ugly as it was at times, Lipscomb had a whole lot to do with it. They got a great team.
Thanks, Coach.